Hello guys, welcome back to the Brickmaker channel, and I'm here to bring you another top 10 Fallout New Vegas list. This video will focus on the top 10 armors you can find in Fallout New Vegas. More or less, it's my top 10 armors within the game. Now, I won't be ranking these based on DT or anything like that. This will be more of a personal list. Focus on things such as the look, the practicality, and most importantly probably, the accessibility of these armors. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more lists, and let's get into it. The first armor I want to discuss is the T51B Power Armor. This bridges right into the top 10 basically for its, well, practicality. In terms of a power armor, this one is very basic, very nice, very powerful, and gets the job done. To gain access to this armor, you can buy it from the Brotherhood of Steel. A good reminder as well that if you want to use power armor in Fallout New Vegas, one of the methods is to help the Brotherhood of Steel for their questline and gain the power armor training. Although my barter skill's at 100, it should only cost you anywhere between 4,000 to 8,000 caps to get the whole set. And to me, it's just a very safe option. It's a very nice, safe option in terms of using armor. It is the armor that's on the Fallout 2 cover, and it's a staple of the Fallout series. In terms of practicality within the game, it's a very great set of armor. It's very strong, the DT is very high, and it can protect you from pretty much all small arms, all energy weapons. It will do a lot of protecting. It does, however, only get 10th, as I do find the look just a little bit boring compared to some of the other armors within this game. But with that, we can move on to number 9. The armor of the 87th tribe to me is one of the best looking armors within the entire game. Although I'm not a huge fan of siding with the Legion, the big huge bull on the chest, the spikes on the shoulder, it is a beautiful piece of armor. You can also see on the back it has all the names of the tribe as well, all 87. You might be wondering with such high praise at the beginning why it only gets to number 9. The reason for that is, well, you cannot really get this armor until very late in the game. And to gain access to it you have to make, well, a pretty big decision in terms of your affinity with the Legion, which I won't spoil here in this video for the one person that hasn't completed Lonesome Road. But again, you can't access it until the very end of Lonesome Road. It also doesn't make you assigned to a faction when wearing it, which is a huge plus for me. But the late game accessibility to this armor is why it only gets to number 9. Number 8 is the Scorch Sierra Power Armor. What I can say about this armor is pretty much everything that I said about the 87th tribe, except this one just edges it in terms of its aesthetic. This is one of the most beautiful sets of power armor in the entire game. I think in terms of looks, this is number 1 for me. If I was to do a list completely on my top 10 best looking armors, I think the Sierra Scorch would be number 1 for me. It does, however, have 2 drawbacks. Similar to what I said with the 87th tribe, you cannot get this until very late in the game, and you have to make a very drastic decision with the NCR, which some players might not want to do. The other drawback for it is that you do need power armor training to wear it, which you don't need with the 87th tribe. However, this armor still is able to get ahead of it just because of the pure look. I mean, the bear on the shoulder, the huge star, the green tints as well to show that it was irradiated. It's just a beautiful set of armor. If this is something that you could access early game and were able to wear it, I don't think I'd ever take it off. I don't think I'd ever change it for any other armor. Despite the faction I'm siding with, despite the story that I'm trying to tell, I would wear this armor all the time based on its look. It has great DT, I mean it is power armor, and the way to get it is also a lot of fun as well. Similar to the 87th tribe, you have to take on another fight. I would love to see this armor return in a future game. I adore it. And that is why it gets number 8 on my list. Now number 7 on my list is the Stealth Suit Mark II. And the reason why this armor is able to edge out both the 87th tribe and the Sierra Scorched is because of how simply you can access this. To gain this armor, you can spawn in Good Springs and immediately go to the big MT. From there you can avoid any fight and grab all the pieces to build the armor. Once you've built it, you can knock out all the protectrons and security around upgrading this armor. without them trying to attack you back. And within an hour of starting the game, you can have the Stealth Suit Mark II fully upgraded to its final form. As I'm showing you on screen now, there's a very simple trick to doing all this. Just turn up, wipe out the security, and you can just walk through no problem with getting the upgrades. In terms of an armor, it's very unique. It has a couple features that no other armors have. It's one of the only suits in the game, of any Fallout game that I remember, that actually speaks to you. And some of the lines can be a bit crap and distracting, but most of the time they can be a bit funny. And it will also use healing items on you without you having to use your hotkeys or use your Pip-Boy. This does however have pros and cons. It does give you stim packs when you need them, but it does however try and use medics whenever possible, which if you're not a fan of using chems or getting addicted to different chems, it can be a bit annoying. But once fully upgraded, it is a very strong piece of medium armor. Now this won't have as much DT as the first 3 sets of armor that we've seen, the different power armors. But its accessibility, your movement speed while using it, and all the other bonuses of your plus stealth, your plus endurance, this is a great piece of armor if you want to get a strong piece straight away in the game. You should remember though that if you do decide to go get it at the start of a save, that you must finish Old World Blues before you can then leave the big MT. However, it is still faster to do all that than it is to gain both the Sierra Scorched and the 87th Tribe. When I first played Old World Blues, I was blown away by this armor. I really enjoyed using it, and it was one of my endgame armors for the rest of that playthrough. And for those reasons, that's why it gains number 7 on my list. Number 6 on my list is a Chinese stealth armor. Now, I know a lot of you people might be quite confused purely based on the basics of this armor and the basics of the other armors that have came before. However, a huge plus that this armor has is that you can get this as soon as you spawn in Goodsprings. You can walk straight to the Hoover Dam, go all the way around the back, and find the room with the 2 radiation symbols. Once you've found this, you can walk straight in, there'll be no guards, no one watching you, and you can loot them from these wooden crates. Although you might lose karma, you do gain one of the best medium armors throughout the entire game. It may not be as strong as the Fallout 3 Chinese stealth armor, but it's still pretty damn good. It adds a huge boost to your sneak ability, and it has a very sleek, black, cool aesthetic as well. It might not talk to you, although I doubt many people would be able to understand it if it did. And it may not give you stim packs whenever you want, but it can be a starting game armor, and that's why I put it on number 6 on my list. Number 5 on my list is the combat armor, specifically the black variation. Now, a lot of you are probably already shouting at your screens, but Brick, this is just the Vangra combat armor. Why are you such an idiot recently? You've lost your way. You're a fool. You shouldn't be making videos like this. You're not qualified. This is not the Vangra combat armor. It is normal combat armor with the Vangra model. And similar to the Chinese stealth armor, you can grab this armor as soon as you like. You can grab this as soon as you spawn in the game. You can walk straight to it from Goodsprings, and you can avoid any sort of enemies in the middle of it, meaning you can grab it right at the beginning of the game. If you guys are unaware of where to grab it, we'll start off at the Gunrunners. The only reason I found this was thanks to Casual Loop. He gave me a video challenge to beat the game as a member of the Vangraffs, and I was looking all over on YouTube of how to get Vangraff combat armor as early as possible. I found a very short video that looked like it had been recorded on someone's phone showing that you can grab this combat armor at the start of the game. Near the NCR sharecropper, once you come over and see this huge pipe, you walk across this wooden bridge, and on both sides of you you can find the combat armor. The location is a durable dune sack caravan. You can see on the map here. You go east from the Gunrunners and follow the very thick highway all the way up to here. You'll be able to pick up 2 sets of the combat armor, allowing you to repair them straight away to get the DT up even higher, or always keeping an extra set with you, just in case one breaks. Now this is completely the same as normal combat armor, has the same DT of 15. However, the accessibility of it and the very cool clean look is just why it gets so high up on this list. If you don't have anything at the courier stash, this is a great armor to pick up early game. Although the actual Vangra Combo armor has one more DT, you don't have to go through their questline to gain access to it. You also don't need to get your lockpick too high either. What else can I say about it that hasn't been said before? It'll do your taxes for you. I don't think anyone's ever said that. But the clean black look, the great DT for the early game, and the easy accessibility is why it gets number 5 on my list. Number 4 on my list is the Ganon family Tesla armor. And number 3 is the Remnant's power armor. And you're probably wondering, why are these so close to each other? Why is there no explanation or showcase of the armor? And that's because at this point I wanted to show you guys how to access these armors, as there's no other way to get the Ganon family Tesla, and this is one of the easier ways to get the Remnant's power armor. To access them both, you have to complete the Auld Lang Syne quest. The quest is given to you by a ghost! No, not by a ghost, an even whiter person, Arcade Ganon. Arcade Ganon is a character you can find in Freeside, and he is a Arcade Ganon is a character you can find in Freeside and is a potential companion. Once you've done enough of his character prompts, you can access the quest. At the end of the quest that I won't spoil, you're brought here to the Remnant bunker. These are old members of the Enclave, and a specific one called Orion Moreno, if you decide to side with the NCR, will try and attack you. Defeating him in combat will give you access to the Remnant's power armor. However, if you have 80 speech, you can still gain the power armor by speaking to Daisy. Despite how you deal with Moreno, you have now got access to the Remnant's power armor, and they will give you power armor training if you've not done it with the Brotherhood or wiped the Brotherhood out. To gain the Ganon family Tesla armor, you need to speak to Arcade. By the end of this quest, he will ask you if he should help you in the Battle of Hoover Dam or go back to Freeside. To gain this armor, you must tell him to go back to Freeside. With that, he will vanish just like a ghost, and when you leave the bunker, he will give you the family Tesla armor. If you tell him to stay and fight at Hoover Dam, he will turn up wearing the armor instead, and you can no longer access it. Unless you decide to take him out now. With the question out of the way, we can now discuss number 4, the Ganon family Tesla armor. This is a very beautiful piece of power armor. In terms of looks, I like it. I like it a lot more than a lot of the other armors, but I do believe that it doesn't look as good as the other Remnant's armor. The little light bulbs popping out are cool, however it does spec into an energy weapon character, which in terms of my playthroughs, I'm not a huge user of energy weapons. That isn't to say, however, it is not a fantastic set of armor. Great DT, you don't have to use energy weapons, so it's still great even if you're just using normal stuff. I remember the first time completing Auld Lang Syne thinking that I'd found something rare and hidden within the game when I got this armor. It's one of those rewards that makes you more excited and more motivated to complete as many side quests as possible, because you can play the entirety of Fallout New Vegas and never even see this armor. With all that considered, it's why it gets number 4 on my list. Swiftly moving on to number 3, as you already know, it's the Remnant's power armor. The Remnants compared to the arcade family set is proof of sometimes less is more. The Remnant's power armor is also a lot more accessible in the game. If you want to pick up a set before even speaking to Arcade, you can head over to Silver Peak Mine. You do, however, have to take out a bunch of Cazadors and fight a legendary Cazador just to get the Remnant's power helmet. I love the look. Swiftly moving on, you got to head over to Cottonwood Cove to get the power armor set itself. Just jump off the bridge and start swimming towards this big random wall. You'll know you've found it because you'll start finding hundreds of Deathclaws. This unmarked location is called the Deathclaw Sanctuary, and this is where you can pick up the Remnant's power armor and also a pair of T-51B on an old Prospector. However, in terms of accessibility, maybe Auld Lang Syne's easier because it is crawling with Deathclaws, but if you really want, you can stealth boy your way through. I remember reading an article about the Remnant's power armor, and that when you put it on in game, the original idea the devs had was to make everyone in the game hostile towards you because it's an Enclave power set. I am so happy they did not do that. faction based armor is a huge thumbs down for me. It's one of the reasons why you haven't seen any armor in here that affiliates you with a certain faction, and I just don't like the feature within the game. And if they had made the Remnant's power armor turn everyone hostile towards you, I genuinely believe this armor would not be usable in the game. So I am very happy that they did not decide to go with that. With brilliant DT, a fantastic look and pretty good accessibility, that is why the Remnant's power armor gets number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list is the Riot gear, and in brackets I've written all. The reason I've put down all is because there is 3 separate sets of Riot gear within the game. You can have Riot gear, Advanced Riot gear, or Elite Riot gear. And there is a very simple reason how it's got to number 2 on this list. It's the box art armor pretty much. And I know the box art has the NCR Veteran Ranger armor, which has not featured on this list and won't be at number 1 if anyone thinks it will be. As I said, it's faction armor. I'm not a huge fan of faction armor. The Riot gear is just a darker version of the NCR Veteran Ranger armor, and you can easily access this at the start of the game. You can run straight to the canyon wreckage, make your way through the little tiny bit at the start of the game, and you can buy Riot Armor in the commissary right at the beginning of Lonesome Road. That is why I put all the Riot gear on this, because although the Elite Riot gear is technically the best version of it, like I said, you can buy Riot gear, you can get the Advanced Riot gear right near the start of Lonesome Road, and then you have to wait till near the end of the game to get the Elite Riot gear. I know the Sierra Scorch power armor and the 87 tri-power armor got penalised for how late you get them. But this armor has less advanced versions which have a very similar look and only lose a little bit of DT, so that's why I think it deserves to be so high on my list. I mean, you can run around as the guy from the box art. It is such a beautiful set of armor. I mean, I think when anyone sees this, they know it's Fallout New Vegas. I think they know exactly which game they're talking about when you see this armor. And Bethesda inserting a version of the NCR Veteran Ranger armor without the faction attachment was a huge plus for me. When I first played Fallout New Vegas, all I wanted to do was get the NCR Veteran Ranger armor. And I'm not gonna lie, once I put it on and saw that it was factioned, I was pretty much let down. I found myself never wearing it. Plus, getting the NCR Veteran Ranger armor, you either have to take it off of a Veteran Ranger, which is pretty late game itself, or you can get it in the NCR safe house, which, you know, you have to complete a lot of the NCR quests to do. With this armor, you can pretty much pick up at the start of the game, although you will need a lot of caps to be able to buy it. When all's said and done, the practicality, the accessibility and the beautiful look is the reason why all the Riot gears get number 2 on my list. And number 1 is the Desert Ranger Combat Armor. God, you must think I'm such a simp for this look. But my god, I'm such a simp for this look. The long coat, the beautiful helmet, the desert camel view. This armor is just absolutely stunning. To gain access to it, you have to start the Honest Hearts DLC and head over to Stonebone Cave. You can find it within the Sorrow's camp, and be careful because it's booby-trapped to all hell. Once you find your way to the back, you'll be able to pick it up from this little wooden ledge. Another cool thing about it is that the helmet just has 0 weight, and I have no idea why. When you pick this armor up, it will be in full condition. It doesn't require any training, and it has no faction affiliation. The reason it beats out the Riot Armor, despite the Riot Armor technically having more accessibility, is the backstory behind the person that had the armor, the survivalist, and the look. The Forgive Me Mama on the forehead, all the different scores around the back of the helmet. This armor isn't just for wearing, it has an absolute fantastic story to tell as well. And anyone who's played Fallout New Vegas and you haven't followed all the survivalist notes and things within Honest Hearts, I would highly recommend that you either do it or watch a video explaining it all, because it is one of the best side stories and hidden stories within Fallout New Vegas. Plus, you can pretty much grab this right at the start of the game. You can run right to Honest Hearts and run straight to Stonebone Cave and grab it, making it my easy pick for number 1 on my list. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more top 10 lists for Fallout New Vegas. My top 5 for Fallout 4 is doing quite well, so if you guys want more top 5s for Fallout 4 as well, let me know. Leave any suggestions in the comments to any challenge runs you would like me to do. If you disagree with anything in my list, please leave your own list down below, I'd love to read it. And if you think I'm an absolute moron for what I've chosen, that's fine as well, let me know. I will see you guys in the next video.